Kris, watching you yesterday in some of the drills, yelling at Evan Anderson, stay low, stay low. Is that his challenge, or is that pretty much the challenge for all young defensive tackles to stay low and play with leverage?
Yeah, pretty much all young guys, coming from the college game where they've, been usually better than the guys they're going against. It's just the pad level aspect of it. In the NFL, it's a low man wins type game. Everybody's strong, everybody's big, everybody has a skill set to play in the NFL, and you're going to need to play under people, to be able to excel. So that's just something all young guys, as they progress into the NFL, that you really got to stay on them daily, getting under people, and then, over time they start consistently playing a little bit lower, and then it's just, eventually ends up where they play more, low more consistently, down in, down out. So that's something all young guys have to focus on when they get into the NFL.
Kris, the other day Malik Collins was talking about, we can't individually expect to replace Eric Armstead. We have to do this as a collective. How do you see the new guys, Malik and Jordan and Yetur, kind of stepping in and handling things so far?
Yeah, really excited about all of them. Losing a guy like Eric, it's a big piece to try to replace. And so when we went looking at these dudes, there was certain skill sets that we were looking to add, to try to replace Eric's presence on the field. So with Malik, he's been watched him his whole career. He's just a really twitched up guy that can really kind of create chaos in the backfield, and something that our scheme is geared towards is playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and he's consistently been able to do that throughout his career. And so some of the previous stops that he was at, he was allowed to attack, and and then just him as a pass rusher, just the way he can manipulate edges with his feet, and how fast he can go from one edge to the other, and then the leverage that he can generate through his lower body with power. Really liked him. And then Jordan Elliott, just the sheer size. When we first started looking at him, I kind of, I don't really necessarily look at the weights, and I try not to even look at, what they weighed in college. I kind of, let the tape, tell me kind of what I think they might, weigh. And Jordan looked like probably about a 315-pound dude on tape. And then, we gather more information and, figure out he's 330 or, 330 plus moving at that size, which is even more intriguing, because usually once, guys get up, over that 330 threshold, they're more geared towards the two gap systems where they're, playing on the line of scrimmage and, matching blocks rather than attacking blocks, and, being able to two gap more in a 3-4 type system. But then, you see Jordan out there and you find out he's 330 and playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and the flash plays that you saw Jordan make. You saw the explosion in a big man's lower body, which is really intriguing. And he was there with Swartz last year, who's a mentor of mine, and one of my other mentors, Jim Washburn, did some work with him, was doing some consultant work down there, and so we got a little more intel on Jordan through Coach Washburn, who I trust his opinion any day of the week. He's the reason why I'm here. So he was just telling me, hey, this is a large human being that's explosive, and then so we ended up getting him. And then I saw early on through off season, through phase 1 and phase 2, exactly what Coach Washburn was speaking upon. A big man that's really explosive and just needs to hone in on some of the fine details within his game, some of the hand use in the run game, just getting his hands tighter, playing with that consistent pad level that you were talking about, getting under people at that size, and then just how we can use him as a pass rusher, because he's a big man that actually has some pass rush slip where, he's just not a two-down run plugger. He can actually also, use his power as a pass rusher, and then he's a big dude that has some slip on some edges as well. So, excited about both of them.
Does the sheer size there give you hope that he can bring you something in the run game that maybe you've been missing since DJ left?
Yeah, we haven't had that type of size in there since DJ left in 2021, I think. We haven't had that 320. DJ was best around 320. We haven't had that 320 plus pound frame, especially down in there in the A gap since DJ left. So yeah, that was, one of the things once we don't want to just get a big guy just to get a big guy. Just say, hey, let's put him down in the A gap, and he can just eat up blocks, and he doesn't have the skill set that we're necessarily looking for. If you're going to be a big man, you still got to generate the explosion that the system asks for. That that you can't have. It's like a puzzle up front. You can't have three guys attacking and then one guy just sitting there, not creating a new line of scrimmage. It kind of works in waves, and so we've, was fortunate to find Jordan, a big dude that can, hopefully, be effective in the inside as DJ was over the years for us. Because DJ was a presence, and we feel like Jordan has a chance to be that type of presence.
Is that the new trend in the league, Coach, to have all four guys up front with the ability to rush the passer? It seems like now if you do have a four-man front and you have one of those guys that isn't a pass rusher, a true two-gapper, that offensive linemen sometimes don't even block that guy, just kind of sag in and help on everybody else.
Yeah, when it comes to rushing the passer, the more the merrier, obviously. If you can, you want to have more than one, that's for sure, because if you got one elite dude, they're going to game plan for him, and then you got to have skill sets at the other three spots that can go win, because the guy that whoever they deem as your matchup issue, for an offense, they're going to do everything they can to take him away. There's a handful of players in the league that are that type of player where the offense is going to say, hey, we have to take this guy away, so you better have skill sets at the other three spots that can go and win, because they'll get opportunities. They may get more of the one-on-ones, and you want to have hopefully 4 to 5 guys, just from a pass rush perspective, that when you get in pass rush situations that can win on the edge, and then the versatility of some dudes to slide inside and win over guards. Like you want to hopefully have a stable of guys that can do it, because they're going to try to take your best away the best they can.
How deep do you think the defensive line is this year in comparison to other seasons?
Right now, it's still early on, but I am really, really intrigued to see how they finish out camp and go into the season. We're not going to know till everything gets live and we hit that first Sunday. You never truly know, but I do like the way they're progressing. I like the guys in the room. I like their work ethic. I think all the skill sets blend together well to have a good unit going forward. We'll find out that first Sunday, and as the season progresses, really how we stack up against some of the previous groups. But I like where we're headed right now.
I know that the NFL is a league of turnover, but is this the most turnover you've seen in a position room year to year with one team?
Just for us specifically, yeah. We've added guys here and there, but we've kind of always kept our core. We lost Defoe after that first year, and then we may lose one guy and replace him with a couple. But yeah, for our room this year in D-line, this will be the biggest turnover we've had since I've been here in 2019, with the amount of guys that left and the amount of new guys that have came into the room.
How's Leonard acclimating to? I know he played some hand in the dirt last year, but obviously it's going to be a lot more this season. Do you feel that he's acclimating, feeling comfortable to that style?
Yeah, I do. And we're going to utilize both with him. There's certain times we're going to want his hand in the ground. There's certain times that he has the freedom to use his the 2-point that he's really excelled at throughout his career. But I really do feel like when he puts his hand in the ground, like he feels like a bolt of lightning coming out of there. The explosion and the speed really shows up on the silent tape. Like it's evident, the amount of ground he can cover, the explosion he can generate, how fast he can close on blockers. So yeah, I'm happy with where he's at right now. It's still work in progress as camp goes on. He hasn't necessarily he's played with his hands in the dirt last year in Buffalo and at other times during his career, but this is like a little bit different than what he's done in the past. So he's still adjusting, but I really like the trajectory he's on.
Beal looks like a ton on the practice field, Coach, but he's raw, right? But he shows that explosive speed. What do you see from him, and what is his challenge to get on the field and start to produce a little bit?
Just what you said. You just see that raw athleticism, and I like, from where he was, at this point last year, he pulled his hamstring about right now, or maybe a little bit before that, and you'd really kind of started seeing it come alive last year, where he's been able to stack these days, and you just see that raw athlete, and he's getting more consistent as the more reps he takes. This will be a good stretch here for him going to these preseason games to start really getting some live action. But he's a guy that can cover space really quickly. On the backside, you see that speed show up. When he's closing on tackles, and then he's added some muscle mass to his frame, where now you're starting to see that power on edge sets and power throughout his rush, come alive. So we're really excited about Rob. He just needs to keep stacking one day on top of the next and just keep improving a little bit each and every day, and the future's going to be bright for him.
What are your early thoughts on Yatur, and is he somebody that